I went into the race because not really knowing what to expect because I didn't do a proper long run. So that first stint was a bit of just trying to feel what was possible. That's why I think in the beginning I was a little bit cautious to push too hard. And luckily at the end of that stint I could make a little bit of a gap, but it seemed like the tyres were quite fragile. I was hoping to do a one stop, but it just seemed a bit difficult. After that first stop, of course, we went on to the hard tyre. It seemed all a bit more under control. And also, I kept on pulling away from the cars behind. So, just step by step, I could just extend the gap a little bit more.
I think in the last few weekends we didn't leave anything as a table on the table, and this is what mattered to me. But on the other hand, quite frustrated because I wanted that second place in the constructors, which we didn't get, and this is a bit That's why I don't have the smile that I should have at the end of this race. But it's we've given absolutely everything, and it wasn't enough.
Long race, really challenging within the car. I was coughing every single lap. I've never had a race like that before, so I was really struggling within myself, but nevertheless it was one of my strongest races of the year. Checo just came out of nowhere. He wasn't on my radar the whole race until I think 10 laps to go when they said Checo's just boxed. He's right behind Lando. I was like, whoa, this is going to throw a spanner in the works. And thank goodness for that penalty, because in the end, we were fourth on the road. He wouldn't have passed Charles. Championship could be a very different story right now, but I think Lady Luck was on our side today. Hasn't often been this season, so I think the end result was fair.
Yeah, it is frustrating at times, because at the end of the day we rely on someone's opinion. I've seen the incident from my opinion. You got to remember that when we dive into the inside of someone from behind, we are braking later than we can, so we are not totally at full control. As I was braking, I couldn't control fully the car, and we ended up, and Lando at the same time decided to turn as if there was no one in the corner, so we ended up making contact. But it was tire to tire. He caught the corner, he gained some time.
Just the pace all through today was not quite where we were hoping to be. Not a lot, it's just a tiny bit, a tenth a lap or something is all we were probably missing today to be in a fight with the Mercedes and the Ferrari, but I did what I could. We did our best, honestly. We lost a little bit in the pit stop to George. We lost the position to George, so maybe could have been a little bit different, but it happens. The guys done a very good job this year with pit stops, so one bad one is always bound to happen at some point.
Not quite as strong as I hoped we would be. Struggled a little bit in the first two stints, but the last stint seemed much stronger, so plenty to work on. I think it was nice to just have a clean weekend in the end. Good qualifying, a race without any contact.
Yeah, it was intense. A lot of fights, a lot of battles. And at the end, obviously, with a nice result, we could not make it to P4 in the constructors with McLaren, but we kept somehow P4 in the Drivers' Championship, which is a little bit unexpected.
Yeah, at some point I thought we can go. Well, we could finish potentially top six, but just didn't work out. I don't think we have regret that we stayed out and tried for one stop. Obviously a shame that we didn't able to finish P7.
I just was slow today. Started 11th and came 9th, so I had to struggle with the car.
I mean, we still have some work to do. 7th and 10th today. Still, some work to do for next season, but nice to finish the book in the points.
I feel that it wasn't a bad race in terms of pace. I think it's just hard as soon as you get some dirty air or once I felt like if I was in my own race I had a decent pace, but then obviously it's a race, so you don't always have a track to yourself.
I think that race really sums up the season a little bit. Tricky race. We just didn't have enough space to be able to score points in general. With either car, I think we maximized the potential unfortunately of the car today, but it wasn't quite enough to be able to enter the top 10, and there was no safety car, there was no DNFs out there. So yeah, it sums up the season a little bit. You know, it's been a bit of an up and down seasons.
Yeah, there were a couple of things that didn't go our way. At the start, I had a really good move in turn 6, overtaking Lewis and Checo, but Checo clipped the back of my car, so I had a first bit of damage, and then couple of laps later, Lewis finished me, so it just drove into the back of my car, broke all the diffuser. So yeah, from there on, it was kind of damage limitation, and we were losing quite a lot of downfalls. So.
Stint 1 was very tough. I had a bad start and then just struggled a lot on that medium tyre. And then afterwards, when we went hard, the pace was actually relative to the people we were racing was strong, and I was slowly making my way back through the field. And I think if I had a good first stint, I would have been in a good place for at least to sniff around points.
Story of the season, you know, we just don't have enough pace. I think Dag probably was not the problem today, just pace. Couldn't keep up with the faster cars. Yeah, just one more time, but we put that one to bed now, and hopefully have some better tools next year.
Unfortunate not to get a position or two up to start, but other than that, we just missed a bit of pace, to be honest, and purposely didn't optimize strategy to try and hold back Danny as long as we could, and I was proud of the defense I put up against him for a few laps to contribute to helping the team today. And yeah, I enjoyed the end when we were on fresh hard tires, coming back through quali lap after quali lap, and yeah, I think from a personal point of view, it's been another strong weekend.
Compared to yesterday, actually the car felt the weaknesses are very similar, so I wasn't so surprised that some of the others had a stronger pace, like the Williams. You know, they had a very short pace in the qualify, so did the Haas, and today they was able to maintain the place.
Well, surprised mainly with the first stint. We were stuck on the hard tire behind all our rivals, sliding a lot. Every time we've started this year on harder compounds, it's never worked for us. We never seem to make the progress that we expect, and from there on, we were never looking for points, ready for points, so we left it out for luck, for safety car that never came. So yeah, we lost the race there, but there was also nothing really to fight for if doing a normal race, because we were clearly out of the points.
Yeah, pace was not great today. I think that was the biggest issue of the race. We also tried 2 different strategies between the cars. I went for the one stop, hoping it would work, but for us it just didn't. The tires just wouldn't last, and pace was just way off the window. So unfortunately, slightly the story of the year. Ultimately, the biggest issue has been the raw pace. But on the other hand, I'm glad it's over now.
Yeah, I think the only positive today is that it was the last race, and we can close this year and look forward to next year.